Okay. My name's Diane Mendoza, and I began my career as a draftsman, and I drew custom residential homes. In 1978, there was an energy crunch, and the California Energy Commission was born. So it's a California thing that I do. So I'm going to go in a little bit more detail because you may not be familiar with it. My job title is Title 24 Energy Consultant. Title 24 is the number of the code, and it's Part 6. Part 1 is for handicap requirements, and this is all construction. They came out with a point system to create energy efficiency. So everybody's house that needs to be built or added onto needs to be energy efficient from 1978 and on. In 1984, they came out with a computer software, and I volunteered to learn the software for my boss. And then I saw that, gee, all I would need to do is buy the software, and I could be in business for myself. So I purchased the software in 1986, same year I got married, and started a business in my extra room, doing energy calculations. My husband had gone back to school, and so he was working all the time. So I worked all day as a custom residential draftsman, drawing homes, and all night. Is this going too long?
No, you're keep going, Diane.
Okay. And so I did it part-time until he graduated, and we decided to start a family. And so I dropped the drawing and started to build the Title 24 business bigger than what I had been doing up to then.
Having a successful company on your own, I'm just wondering, like, what you've dealt with when you're doing the marketing for your own company.
I have tried some advertising, where I took out an ad in the phone book. I spread a flyer around the building department. When you get a permit, the building department has a plan checker, and health department and a zoning department, and they all have like billboards where you can post your card or a flyer. Mm-hmm. Because the Title 24 energy calculations are required for all jobs, everybody that has to have a report from a person like myself, I posted my flyers at the building department, and I garnered a lot of people from that
Nice.
right there. So I made I just been honest with everybody that I'm doing a part-time business, and so I had to call them back with my questions, and my time frame might have been slower than other people because I had a full-time job. And they were totally cool with that because there was not very many people in the county that did it. The telephone book not many people called from the telephone book because they didn't really know where to put it because there was really no good heading for an energy consultant at the time. So, they made a heading for me, energy consultant, and mine was the only person name there. But, people would call and say, how much energy does, and I was like, that's not really what I do. And so it ended up not being the right scheme. Being honest with the clients and being very personable and doing a good job, and if I got a correction from the building department, following through and making sure that the project was done well, on time, et cetera, so forth. That's how my business grew. Somebody else would say, I work with this gal named Diane. She did it quickly. She followed through. She made sure it was okay, and blah, blah, blah. And it just kept growing from there.
A word of mouth.
Just word of mouth has been it. And I used to be able to keep track of who came from who, but it's been almost 30 years, and so I'm a little lost sometimes. But
have you ever had to attempt using like online marketing at all?
I have a website.
Okay.
And I'm a part of an organization. It's called KBEC, and it's California Association of Building Energy Consultants. It was formed, I think the late 80s, early 90s, so that we would have like errors and emissions insurance, and they were never able to obtain that insurance. But we stayed as a group. We pay dues, and we have continuing education, which is kind of a big thing now, for anything, any kind of certification. That continuing education costs a lot of money, but as a member, I don't pay a lot for my continuing education.
Very nice.
But they produce a list of people that went ahead and got certification. When it's not required, it's an optional certification. But once you're certified, then you're on this list. And if you are going to get solar panels or get money back for it and stuff like that, you have to use a certified person. So that ended up working out really well when there was a big solar push about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to redo calculations that other people did in order to for them to get rebates. They had to use me. So that list is also published online. So if somebody's looking for it, then they say, how do I find an energy consultant? Usually KBEC comes up. And once KBEC comes up, then the list of certified people come on.
Very nice.
So that works as well.
Well, do you have a couple pieces of advice for future business owners like yourself for the marketing side?
For the marketing side, I think that for me, word of mouth has always worked. It works good if you do a good job and you don't cuss out somebody, or you don't have if you're having a bad day, you have a bad day after you hang up the phone, kind of thing. But with your client, you stay really devoted to them, and they will recommend you to somebody else. It'll happen. It might take 6 months, but it'll happen.
Okay.
And my name appears on all my reports, and so people pick up plans. I haven't gone down to the building department, but since the first few years, when I was already going there, now they're like the enemy, because they have the plan checker action. So and actually, the plan checkers are recommending me, because I see her work a lot. This is her name, Here, I have a plan over here. Just call her and she'll do it. So,
word of mouth is key.
It seems to be the key thing, and of course, treating your clients well. You treat them well. You do a good job. You apologize if you made a mistake. You just stay honest.
Yeah.
And, it's worked for me, so that's been my key to success. But yeah, you do have to get your name out there, and a website is great. But if you don't monitor your website, you raised your prices, but your website doesn't reflect that, people call you on that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm being called on that right now.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome.